Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Friday, December 22nd, 2017 by Gaia Blooming. I am Mimi and our energy mantra for today is I aspire to be my best me from my heart center. And today we have Mercury going direct. It is really hard for me to believe that 3 weeks have passed since Mercury went retrograde. That is like astounding to me because wow. I mean, it flew by, and yet there have been lifetimes that have occurred in and through these last 3 weeks. So I'd like you to, take a little, I don't know what the right word is. It's not patrol. I can't get the word, but take a little check over these last 3 weeks. What has happened for you? What has shifted for you? And realize that this Mercury retrograde that we went through really was helping us finish up our Saturn in Sagittarius process. So it really has been helping us shift our beliefs, shift and open our door, hopefully, to more new, evolved knowledge and let go of any of that other stuff that has been holding us back. Now, Mercury, as it's direct, is still going to work that issue, the issue of knowledge, the issue of your beliefs, cracking you open for even more to come in. So we're going to have Mercury finishing up in Sagittarius all the way through January 10th. So this is a beautiful opportunity. Again, just like I said the other day, we're still sweeping up the crumbs from Saturn in Sagittarius the last 2.5, 3 years. So just keep checking in. Like, is this true? Is this true with me? Does it resonate? My truth button in me. And, if it resonates, honor it. And if it doesn't, put it on a shelf at least for now. Or maybe do a little bit of work within yourself to see why. Always Sagittarius, always willing to ask why. Now, I always want to mention with Mercury going direct, it's like, hey, hooray, things start evening out, and that's definitely true. Things will start evening out, communications will get better, but we still are in shadow, and sometimes shadow periods can be almost wonkier than the regular, because the shadow periods really, like, the first shadow period kind of sets the stage. These are going to be your lessons, and then the second shadow period is like, okay, you didn't get it, here we go again. So patience is still required, and just, still cross your T's, dot your I's, check through the energies. Now, I am going to go through, sign by sign, the lessons for Capricorn. So I'm going to dig into that at the end after I get to the cards. But we only have 2 little other things to address today in the astro energy. So we have the moon in Aquarius. Moon in Aquarius attuning us to our vibrational nature. Moon in Aquarius attuning us to the fact that there are these energetics that are going on, these things that are unseen, that are always happening, that we really need to be aware of. The first connection is the moon square Jupiter. That is at 15 degrees. That's 6 energy. 6 energy is that energy of finding our balance. So this really may bring up, this is an interesting thing that's coming through. This may bring up, as we are in holiday season, whatever holiday you celebrate, families, people coming together, you may be very vibrationally attuned and put off by some of the vibrations, some of the shadows that you may be feeling from others. Now, I want to remind you, you always have to be really true to yourself. And like, if you're put off by something, there's some kind of vibrational connection going on in you. If you're put off by something, there's always something that could be healed or addressed in it. But be willing to listen to yourself. Like, for instance, if you have an uncle who you're like, stay away. Okay, there may be some, healing things to address within the family, but also address within yourself. Okay, why is this coming up for me? Address your own shadows in and through this. But also at the same time, honor that feeling. And if you can, keep that distance. Honor that within yourself. Honor your vibrational nature. I think that's going to be, that's kind of the next lessons that Saturn's going to address. In a few years, as Saturn moves into Aquarius, really honoring your vibrational nature beyond your physical nature of things, beyond what society tells you is right. But here's a little advance jump on that. Honor that. Find that balance in you. But just realize Vibrationally, we are super sensitive at this time with this moon in Aquarius. The moon is also connecting to Uranus. So Aquarius is ruled by Uranus energy. So this is very electrical in nature. Ground in. I'm like looking at my notes, but they are related to something else. Ground in. Ground in for this is actually also, interestingly enough, 24 degrees, 6 energy. So again, it's relating that is coming up for us. Again, this feels like we're going to be so vibrationally in tune, but also vibrationally vulnerable. Get set in your vibrations. I would say today is a really great day as part of your responsibility to yourself. Saturn and the Sun in Capricorn, taking that responsibility to ground in. Really get set in your vibrational nature so you can be the best you from that heart center rather from these outside impulses and pressures that you may be feeling at this time with this vibrational sensitivity. That's also a beautiful connection, though, for like bright ideas. So in the right setting, beautiful ahas could come through for you. All right, cards. Let's look at the cards, and then we're going to go through sign by sign. Cards are really interesting. I'm really excited to show you the Akashic Tarot card. Here I've got the Capricorn card. The Capricorn card, the Devil. Saturn and the Sun in Capricorn is helping us work through our conditioning. And this is kind of where we're at. We're clinging to the past. Society has told us this is how we are to be. This is how we're going to live safe lives and fit in, and everything's going to work like a cog. And yet it's kind of kept us stuck. We've been behind the bars. But through this process, through what we're doing, we're leaving those bars behind. We're coming to understanding. We're understanding where we have been conditioned. It's time to take off the sheep. It's time to realize our power. It's time to realize the power of our heart, the responsibility to our heart energy. So we have this process going on. I think part of this is getting in tune with that vibrational nature. What is the truth of your vibrational nature? And even as you're interacting, because unless we're a monk sitting on top of a hill, you don't get to go through this world without interacting, you know? So you've got to find a way to stand in your truth. Goes back to the Sagittarius lesson. Stand in that truth, stand in the truth of your vibration, and be able to hold that despite any of those pressures, despite the conditioning, and despite, you know, these lessons that we're still releasing from the past, all the way the world used to be, the good old days. Let's have the good new days. Let's have this good day. I also have the Sorrow card in reverse. This is the Nine of Swords. This is a mental card. And so if you're finding this, again, the sorrow energy, especially having it in reverse, this may be somebody else's vibration that you may be picking up. But it may be important to process it, you know, if you're feeling it, like I said, if you're feeling somebody's vibrations, there's a part in you that's vibrationally resonating. It's like when you have two tuning forks next to each other and they're like, you know, the same. You hit one, it starts vibrating, and the other one resonates and vibrates. So when we have something that's the same or similar, it will vibrate. So if this sorrow does come up, don't feel like you need to take on somebody else's. 9 is like, complete this, let this go. Don't feel like you need to take it on, but realize that, again, there may be healing to do where it is resonating with you. I love the Akashic card. It goes so well with the energy mantra for today. I pulled the Two of Scrolls, or the Two of Worlds, but in reverse, and they do have reverse messages in here. And when I read a part of it, I was like, oh my God, this is amazing, especially with these cards too. The reversal of this card is one of great release. Money and the personal world are present, but they no longer have to drive you. You have an opportunity now to act on your highest ideals and convictions, to be the best you from your heart center. You may have been torn between two worlds, old world, new world, or even between the light and the dark, but now you've discovered a greater sense of your truth. Stand in your truth. The rock-solid mountain of your spiritual reality is now the history from which you draw your power. Once you were worried that striving for your spiritual goals would put your personal or financial life at some risk, but now you have determined how to take the steps, even little ones, baby steps, to integrate the two. Your divine soul is the driving force of your life. Yes. and you can design your future and manifest all you desire through it. The Akashic Force, which is like kind of the little, I don't know, do this process with here, is close your eyes and say to yourself, the divine thrives in my daily world. And then see the God of your understanding, God, universe, source, stand beside you. See yourself walking through your life in this great company, handling everything that comes your way. And just for anybody who likes numbers, this was actually on page 111. So there we have that, which kind of wraps up everything. So that being said, let's dig into, somehow that was 10 minutes. It was supposed to be shorter, but somehow let's dig into all of the signs. Now, I've been talking about the A game, and I'm holding strong with this. And I have to say, Deborah Smith, thank you. She brought in the word aspire, and I was like, yes, aspire. And that is actually my focus as we move through Capricorn. Besides the other A's, attitude, aspire, ambition, achieve, acknowledgement, authority, and of course, authenticity. Bringing the A game to Capricorn. So, Sun in Capricorn or rising sign in Capricorn. Happy birthday, Capricorns. Aspiring to be your best soul self. The first house is the house of I am. It is the house that is like closest to the beginning of, it is the beginning of the cycle. First house is like when we dive in, we're close to God, close to source, and like, I'm coming in and this is my mission. Capricorn, it's time to get close to God. It's time to get close to source. It's time to remember that drive in you, that drive, that ambition to achieve your purpose. And I think this is where there's going to be important shift, and there already has been with Pluto going through your sign, but that shift to release the expectations, the power plays and manipulations of the world, and step into your own authority. So important, Capricorn. What is your life purpose? This month, and again, over these next 3 years, this is going to become clear to you, but make that part of your mission to at least know a part of it. You don't have to know the whole thing. And that may be part of this whole transformation for you, Capricorn, not to have the whole plan written out and be like, this is what I'm going to do, and then this is what I'm going to do. No. At least know the step. What is this step now that I can take that will help me honor my soul purpose, my soul mission? So, Capricorn, you got this. And you are leading us. Being that you have Saturn in your sign, you're leading everybody through these lessons. Sagittarius, we are aspiring to achieve and honor our worth. Now, I was thinking about this earlier, and I was like, I gotta share this little story. So, I have done tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of different metaphysical, spiritual classes. When I was newly kicked out of my comfort zone in a Saturn return and had to dive into this work, I was charging what I was told by like my teachers and everybody I should charge for craniosacral therapy. I did craniosacral therapy and everything, which was $80 for a session. And I got like no clients. And I was like, oh my God, no one likes me, blah, 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 all that stuff. My worth was in shambles. It was already in shambles before that. Like that's been a lifelong process, the worth thing. And let me be fair, Sagittarius, a lot of you that I know also have this worth stuff. So Sun in Capricorn is giving us a snapshot of the next 3 years of aspiring to know our worth, because I was worth that. My work was really good. It was worth that. But because I didn't have the way to honor that worth within myself, I could never make that money, even though spirituality, like God was like, hey, I acknowledge you. You've done good work. You know what you're doing. So we've got to work the birth process. Now, I know we have been with Pluto going through Capricorn, but this is time to up the game. Really focus on your worth, Sagittarius. And as you do so, I also believe other latent talents will start coming forward, and you'll be like, oh my God, I never knew I could do this. I can do this. And that's just gonna raise you up. So come on, Saggies. We got this. All right. Sorry, still in Mercury retrograde, so all the words are still tough. Scorpio, this is your third house. Aspire to communicate. Now, this is really funny to me because Scorpios, you're going to get one of two things often with Scorpios. You will get the Scorpios that'll come in and like nail you. Hit that trigger button right there. Oh, I found your shadow and I'm going to poke it. And then you have the Scorpios that see it and kind of hold back. Scorpio, let's find a little happy medium. Let's aspire to communicate in a way that honors your vulnerability and honors the vulnerability of the shadow. Let's be responsible as we tackle communicating the shadow. I think this combination of third house Scorpio Capricorn energy is so fascinating and ultimately powerful. Having Capricorn as your third house Scorpio, so powerful. But with great power comes great responsibility. So now is the time to get really in touch with that. And being that you are so sensitive, really in touch with the vulnerability and find that balance. It's funny because third house is not about balance so much, but I'm really getting the sense like there's just an importance to find that balance in and through this because you have so much to offer, Scorpio, but you've really got to tune in like, who is my audience and how do I approach this in the right way? And in that way, I guess that's where the balance is between that communication, but also part of communication, which is listening or feeling deeper in. So come on, Scorpio. With great responsibility comes, great power. See, I am all backwards today. With great power comes great responsibility. All right, Libra, this is your fourth house, aspiring to feel freely. You know, I think that's one of the things. One of the most empowering things is to be allowed to feel. And it's something, I was shopping earlier and I was standing in front of a mom reprimanding her child for his feelings that she didn't agree with. You know, like it's one of those things we've got to find our balance, Libra. I don't know where this balance thing is coming up, but it's coming up really strong. We've got to find our balance to allow ourselves to feel freely and realize the power of feeling. Libra, so often you can get caught up in, I want harmony all around, so I'm gonna like bridge myself off to keep all the things harmonious. But feeling is a superpower. So this is your time to realize the power in what you're feeling, to realize that there is even some psychic nature that does come through the feels. Aspire to feel freely, realizing that feelings are a divine responsibility superpower, and that they can really help direct you and show you, yeah, things are going good over here. Oh, things are not going so good over here. They're great for contrast. If you ever watch Abraham, contrast through the feelings. It's not always contrast, too. Sometimes the feelings are like, yes, the intensity that drives you deeper forward. Start listening to them. Pay attention to them. There's also the aspect of family that comes up with the fourth house, family and the home. Finding your balance, finding your comfort in and through home and family as well is going to be part of your work over these next 3 years, but you'll get a glimpse of that over this next month. So next, Virgo, not Scorpio, Virgo, aspire to break free your inner child. Wow. It's really interesting to have Capricorn as the fifth house because Capricorn really can represent the patriarchal energy. It can represent a strict grandfather. It can represent strict family. But I feel like one of the big changes that's going to happen in the world is when we can honor the creativity, honor the beautiful creation power from the inner child. And that's the things that go along with the fifth house. Creation, love, heart-centered energy. Romance is actually part of the fifth house energy. Bringing forth the inner child will help tune you into all of these other things. But you do have a responsibility to your inner child. And anytime we talk inner child, we have to talk inner parent. How is your inner parent showing up? Is your inner parent showing up as the pan character of Capricorn? Is it showing up as the mountain goat? Like, you climb that wall. Or is it the sea goat? Like, you got to find your own flow. Your inner child will tune you into your flow. But those other things may take you out of your flow. They may take you, not off your path, because I don't ever think we're completely off our path. But, you know, through detours, tough detours that maybe you don't have to do. This is meant to be fun, Virgo. So remember that. Your mission, your purpose right now is fun, Virgo, should you accept. All right, Leo. Leo energy, this is your 6th house. Aspiring to health, taking responsibility, getting ambitious when it comes to your health. And I have the benefit of having many Leo clients, and it is something that I've been talking about quite a bit with my Leo clients. What can you do to take that responsibility for your health, to feel good? Are you listening to your body? This is our virtual reality interpretation machine. It is our antenna, the sacred antenna. 6th house represents reality, our daily reality, but this is how we interpret our daily reality. So I always do bring the focus back to the temple. So aspire to cleansing your temple. Aspire to be responsible to your temple. Your body is always communicating with you. If you are feeling pain, if you are feeling discomfort, if you are having any disease, healing is possible, but you've got to listen to your body. What is your body asking for? What does it need from you? Aspire to your health, Leo, and get very ambitious. And the final thing I want to say about that, you are also the authority when it comes to your health. Like, your body does know. And I'm not saying don't go to a doctor, because doctors are great too. And sometimes they can tell us things that we're not able to understand through our body signals. But really, tune in, check everything through the body. All right, Cancer, 7th house. 7th house is relationship. So aspire to relationship. Now, the first thing with a relationship is this is your first and best and longest lasting relationship you have, the one that you have with yourself. So really aspire to be in beautiful balance. There it is again. Divine, harmonious relationship union with yourself, with your divine yin and yang energies. Are you in balance? Now is the time to show up, be responsible for that balance. The other thing that came up with this is authority. Are you allowing yourself to be the authority of yourself? And I mean that sometimes the word authority can be kind of triggering, because when I say the word authority, I do think of like a cop wearing, holding a baton. I see his hat and I see the baton and kind of like, But I do mean it, authority, more as like a gentle king or queen, like authority, magnanimous. Are you being the authority, magnanimous authority in your life? And all of this will set you up for beautiful relationships. Now, Cancer has definitely had some interesting relationship stuff going since Pluto entered Capricorn a really long time ago. I don't remember what year it was. 2000. I think it was after 2008. Anyway, it was a while ago. Not after, before 2008, but 2008-ish. But since then, like, wow, that might be it. Sometimes I forget. We're almost out of 2017. So yeah, 2008 is when I think it is. What has been happening in your relationship since then? There's probably been a lot of change, a lot of transformation, but this is a beautiful opportunity as you get responsible for the relationship with yourself to bring in a beautiful, harmonious, balancing relationship. All right, next we have Gemini. Gemini, this is your 8th house. Now this is very powerful because this is about aspiring to your power, aspiring into empowerment. But with 8th house, we've got all the sides. 8th house is the house of Scorpio. So it is the house of sexuality. It is the house of death and rebirth. It is the house of transformation. But like I said, all of this leads to our empowerment. So aspire to be empowered. What does that look like for you? When you feel empowered, when you feel the vibration of your empowerment, what does it feel like for you in your body? And then can you live that? But you're going to have to be very conscious about this, Gemini, because the 8th house, like I said, it's the Scorpio house. If you are not honoring power, if you maybe wear some of those, masks with this, that scorpion tail is going to be like, nope. So be very conscious as you empower yourself that you're really being empowered and not playing those power games. Don't be fake. Don't be falsely empowered. Don't be a kind of power that needs manipulation or to lead with its sexuality. Be very embodied, Be very rooted. 8th house is very root chakra oriented. Be very rooted in your power and let it expand through you. And man, these next 3 years, next month, of course, but the next 3 years with Saturn moving through, you are set, Gemini, to take off on a whole new level. I like see a rocket ship going off right now. If you are empowered from a true, grounded, rooted state of really being true to yourself. All right. Taurus, this is your 9th house. Aspire to learn, aspire to expand, aspire to travel, Taurus. I mean, should you accept? But yeah, that's the thing that came up was aspire to learn. There is so much more about this world that we do not know. And Taurus, it's going to be your job over this next month and over these next 3 years to learn, absorb these things, and also be the teacher, be the philosopher, to share with the rest of us where we need to grow and learn. So thanks, Taurus. I will be checking in with you all the time over these next 3 years. Like, what do I need to know now, Taurus? And it's really funny. I have a girl in my dance class. And last night, because I was like, maybe she's a Gemini. And she probably has Gemini in her chart. But she was like rattling off this information about octopuses, which we know. I love the octopus. And I was like, what's your sign? And she's a Taurus. So she may be one of you Tauruses that I am hitting up for information. But aspire to learn. This is your responsibility. Let that be your ambition. What's calling you to be learned at this time? And move heart first in that direction. All right. Next, Aries. Wow. 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 This next month, next 3 years is going to be very powerful. Aspire to your purpose. 10th house is purpose. So you have had Pluto working this for quite a while, but here we go with Saturn. Now is the time, Aries, that I think you're going to find out, like, yeah, this is why we've been diving in head first, and this is the work that we came to do. Aspire to your purpose. You have much to achieve these next 3 years. Like, you already have the ambition going. I think you've got the right attitude going, but check your attitude with this, of course. But I really do think that this is going to be an amazing time for Aries energy, for tuning into your divine purpose and stepping up on several layers. Sometimes Aries, go from here to here to here to here to here. But I think that this is going to be more of that, like, that intensity card. That's what I see, that arrow moving into the light. Like, yes, what is it? I have the Rumi line, the Rumi poem popping into my head. I can't quite grasp it. I can get the feeling of it, but I can't quite grasp it right now, which is funny because I know Rumi so well. But it's basically, I can't believe I can't get this right now. This is what Mercury does to me. There are hundreds of ways to kneel and kiss the ground. I know that's the second part. Let the beauty you love be what you do. Here we go. Let this drive you. Let that deeper pull drive you of what you really love. Because there are hundreds of ways to kneel and kiss the ground. There are hundreds of ways for you to step into your purpose. Whew, okay. Pisces, you are in the 11th house. Now, one of the things that has really come to me in the last several months about the 11th house is that the 11th house really does lay the groundwork for the vibrational nature of the world. So, aspire to hold a beautiful, activating, beautiful attitude, beautiful, ambitious, and ready to achieve the highest, the utopian energy. That's your work, is holding that vibration. So how are you moving through the world vibrationally in a way that honors it? Now, of course, the 11th house also represents friendship. It represents community. It represents humanitarianism. It represents how we put ourselves out in the world. But this is the thing, Pisces. This is a very important foundation to hold. And, if anybody can do it, it is the Pisces vibration. So please, Pisces, aspire to the highest vibration that you can hold. Every day, check in with yourself. Am I holding this vibration? Am I holding the vibration of the world that I wish to create? Because, wow, you guys are the creators. And over the next month, you will definitely get a glimpse of that. But this is going to be, like I said, this long 3-month thing, or 3-year thing as Saturn works through Capricorn. And finally, Aquarius, the true vibrational beings. This is your aspiration. Your aspiration is to flow. I aspire to flow. I aspire to move to what I want to achieve by flowing. 12th house is always an interesting energy because 12th house is really connected to karmic energy. So it can be wrapping up of karmic situations. You may feel that sense of like something's coming. You got 3 years, so something is coming, but you've got 3 years to go through this. But can you aspire to flow? If you can work that sea goat process, if you can work the divine, everything's working out for me process, that's just going to serve you and help you. The 12th house can feel kind of like anxiety. I don't know where I'm going. There's kind of foggy, but it's just a very deeply psychic energy. So tune into your deeper intuition. Tune into your yin. Allow the flow. Allow yourself to move as directed. And hopefully you will keep at bay any of that anxiety that comes and just grow, expand. Because the 12th house, when you are spiritually connected, when you are hooked in, when you're tuned in, tapped in, turned on, good things really can happen. But when you're not in that place, it does feel like, oh, I'm lost in the water. You don't have to be lost in the water. If you feel lost in the water, realize that there's some part of you that's paddling frantically and probably paddling yourself in circles. And let yourself relax into the divine palm of the universe and flow through your process. So that is all of the signs. Woo! Book a reading if you want to dive deeper into your personal processes for any of this. The better it gets, the better it gets. There is enough love in the world for you, and I will see you tomorrow. Namaste.